Hello everyone, thank you for checking out this video. We will specifically be looking at a platform called Dataiku. It's a platform that works on artificial intelligence and machine learning, and it's a great platform that supports multiple analytical tools that are very valuable to organizations. We will specifically be diving into a tool called sentiment analysis. Before we start into it, we need to gather text data for this analysis, which you can see is being done right now on the screen. You need to install the step one of this process is to install a plugin called Instant Data Scraper, which scraps data from any website. We are currently gathering customer reviews for a specific product, iPhone 12, on Amazon. So this will be the final data set that we will be conducting the sentiment analysis on. While we accumulate our text data, let us quickly understand a bit more about sentiment analysis. And before that, we need to understand what natural language processing is. Natural language processing, or NLP, is a branch of machine learning and artificial intelligence. It deals with human language and it bridges the gap between human communication and computer understanding. Sentiment analysis is a core application of natural language processing, and it basically refers to detecting the attitude in a piece of text through an automated process. So, sentiment analysis is one of the most common text classification tools where it analyzes any message or data or text and classifies it into positive, negative, or neutral. Just to understand why sentiment analysis is important, it's very valuable to organizations. If you have a lot of text data and if it's very text heavy, the data set, it can be extremely time consuming to manually go through it and label it. So sentiment analysis definitely simplifies the entire process. As the name alludes, sentiments deal with opinions, attitudes, emotions versus objective facts. The result, therefore, is immensely valuable for organizations. It helps you understand how customers feel about the brand, product, or service. It's a great technique to mine subjective information across texts, SMS, tweets, blogs, articles, customer reviews. It's also a great asset when it comes to social media and to understand and identify how the users feel about the product, how are they engaging, and definitely helps the organization also identify things that are working well with the consumers, get live feedback, frequent feedback, overall reputation of the brand, and constantly reiterate and improve the process or improve the design. So sentiment analysis overall helps you have a better connection with your audience and understand what their emotion is about your product and brand and how you can improve it. While the data is being gathered, you also need to download, install, and register the Dataiku app. Once all the data has been collected, you download the CSV, Instant Data Scraper, and this text data will then be imported onto Dataiku after you have downloaded, installed, and registered. As you can see, a huge set of data has been downloaded as CSV. We will now move on to setting up Dataiku. There is a free edition available for the license, so you can go ahead and fill in your details. So we can, since we are doing a brand new project and we are focusing on sentiment analysis, that is how we've named the project, and we can go ahead and start with our data. So as you can see, we need to import the data set, which is what we will do. And thanks to the instant data scrapper, we have a massive set of text data. As you can see, the entire data set has been imported. However, we need to work specifically on just customer reviews, and we don't need all of these columns. So we will go ahead and eliminate all of the columns except for the one that has the customer review specifically. As you can see, we will go ahead and filter the data first, keep only the column that we need, which is the one with customer reviews. Keep in mind, this is a sentiment analysis and all we need is text data. We do not need objective facts. Once we have kept the column that we need, as you can see here, you can mention the column name and remove or keep. In this case, since we need to keep only one column, that is the name that we will be putting in. Please make sure that you click on run every time you make changes so that you can save all the processing that you're doing. Post this, now that your concise data set is ready, it is important to clean the data. The reason it's important to clean data is definitely to eliminate any kind of waste that is there in the data, but also to make sure that your final result is an optimized, valuable result, and cleaning data is essential for that. The first step will be to normalize your data. Normalizing is a process where all of the text is transformed into a standard format. So that will involve multiple things such as converting all characters to the same case, removing punctuations, special characters, removing any kind of accent marks. So you can see that you have a new column called simplified text, which is normalized text data, and it's now in the standard format. The next step is to remove stop words. Stop words are basically words that are very common, such as the, is, in, and they don't really provide any information, or they don't really add any value to the data in itself. So we can eliminate or remove stop words. As you can see, there's a new column where all the stop words have been removed. And the final step of cleaning is stemming. Stemming is where multiple words that have the same stem word or the same root word are made into a more concise form. For example, if you have three words, assignee, assignment, and assigning, all of them share the same root word or the stem word, which is assign. So the last column, which is stem words, makes your data set a lot more concise and accurate for the sentiment analysis. Finally, you click on run in order to ensure that you're saving all your changes and data processing that you're doing. Up on the left hand corner, you can see an option called flow. We want to go to flow and look at the final output, data output that we have, which is Amazon prepared. We go ahead, click on recipe, which is on the right top corner, and you'll see that we do not have any plugins. So it's important to go ahead and download the plugin Sentiment Analysis. Once you have successfully installed the plugin Sentiment Analysis, you also need to have a code environment for the plugin to function. So you can go ahead and choose Python 36. Since you're doing it for the first time, there are a lot of plugins that need to be downloaded, so you will have to stay a little patient. Okay, so this has been successfully completed. We can go ahead back to flow and run the sentiment analysis. So we go to flow, click on recipe, you can see natural language processing, and then we run sentiment analysis. The input will be the final data set that we have prepared, and the output, in this case, we will be naming it analyzed data. You can put in the details here. You can put in specifically which column you want. In this case, we look at stem words because that is the final cleaned data column that we have. But later on in the video, you'll see that there are multiple ways of looking at the sentiment analysis per column, so you don't necessarily have to go through this route specifically. So now we can go back to Flow and you will see that we have the analyzed data output. Once we open that, you can finally see the predicted score and the predicted sentiment. Here, based on the opinions and customer reviews, the system has automatically coded it, which then mentions whether the customer review is a negative review or a positive review or neutral. There's a lot that you can play around with as well in the data. You can, as you can see in the video, you can also go to a specific column and you have an option called Analyze. When you go to Analyze, you get categorical data. You can also look at value clustering. This helps cluster the different kinds of reviews or text that you have. You can also work around and edit values that you want to compute. Look at the statistics, what kind of quartile range you want to edit. If you want to look at the average or median of customer reviews and so on. So there's a lot that you can play with within this. Finally, if we want to look at our inference, we go ahead and look at the analyzed data. And there is an option on the right side where we can see quick column stats. You also have a lot of visual representations. In this case, when we look at predicted sentiment, it is very clearly reflecting that 66% of the reviews are positive and about 33% are negative. Hope this video helps. Thank you.